If you don't take the initiative, will he be upset? What will happen next? Hello, hello, everyone. Always hoping for an ending, so stubbornly staying here, exhausting all expectations before saying goodbye, it might really take a long time. So let's take a look. If you don't take the initiative, will he panic? Will he be upset? How will your story change? Today, let's find out through our public video. Let's explore the answers together. Before we start, please like and comment so I can get more information from the other person. The 3 cards in the picture are today's 3 options. Starting from the left, they are the first group on the left, the second group in the middle, and the third group on the right. Please think about the other person at this moment, and then choose the group of cards you feel most connected to based on your first intuition from these 3 sets. If you haven't decided yet, you can pause the video. Don't overthink it. Just make your choice and then look at the corresponding content. After liking and commenting, let's look at the first group, who chose the card on the far left. First, let's take a look at your past and see the state between the 2 of you. Looking at your past, it was the kingdom of brothers. The man might not have been particularly proactive in the relationship or very obvious in expressing his emotions. He might have been more concerned with a sense of security and stability. He might care about your life and some of the things you need, but he doesn't seem to be the particularly romantic type because the energy of the earth element represents stability and a strong sense of direction in the material realm. So the man is probably not very romantic, but if you ask whether he cares, he does. In the past, there was also a reversed Hanged Man card, indicating that the overall progress of this relationship was slow. It's not exactly very fast, and it might not be very proactive. This could really be greatly influenced by the earth element, King of Pentacles. And then there's the reversed Ace of Cups. Is there a long distance between the 2 of you? It feels like this isn't the first time the relationship has collapsed like this. Some of you might have experienced a situation where you have broken up and gotten back together in the past. And then there's the reversed Devil card. This group might be prone to some more taboo relationships. It might not be so conventional. Some friends, there are things in your relationship that can't be talked about or shared outside. And then there's the Ace of Cups. I feel that in this relationship, the man might not be the type to be very proactive at the beginning, but once he is truly invested and sincerely wants to develop this relationship steadily, the feeling this set of cards gives me is that it might be a clash between ideals and reality, and there might be some challenges in the relationship. The occurrence of new people and things is causing your relationship to move in some uncontrollable directions. I feel this way because there is an Ace of Cups here, which indicates that new people or things are appearing in the relationship. Another point is that this relationship may not be very smooth. It could be that what the 2 people want is not exactly the same. One person might want a lot of emotional connection, emotional and spiritual things. But the other person, especially the man, may care more about stability in life, the big picture in terms of career and personal development. This might not be the kind of idealistic love. When this kind of energy appears, the emotions between the 2 people cannot be in a very balanced state, because of the reversed King of Pentacles, which affects the overall feeling. The relationship with the mother might have been somewhat stuck in the past. When one person needs a bit of emotional value and can turn sound into emotion, the other person might neglect this state. Sometimes it might really just be like that. A little coaxing, a kiss, a hug, and then saying a few kind words, and the matter will be resolved. But the other person might feel that providing material things is easier than providing emotional support. It seems like the man might really be the type who isn't good at coaxing others, while the other person might care more about these kinds of details and have a higher need for emotional connection and closeness. The woman might be more emotional, while the man might be more rational. Previously, you both might have said everything, including more impulsive and out-of-control words. When you talk again, to be honest, it doesn't feel like you're arguing. It feels more like you're calmly saying some very hurtful things, even though these emotions are already overflowing inside. On the surface, they might still choose a very peaceful way to express themselves. However, deep down, there's a feeling of wanting to say, I've expressed myself to this extent, and I hope you can do better than what I've said or asked for. But in reality, what they want inside is even more. In this relationship, there's a sense that everyone is brewing their own thoughts inside. It wasn't brought out into the open. So in this relationship, it might be a bit like when you two interact. You hope the other person understands more. But both of you need to grow slowly in this relationship like children to reach a stable and harmonious level. You see, with the Devil card in reverse, the really good point about this relationship might be that at the beginning, people are very enthusiastic and proactive. I really want this relationship to move towards a state of extreme intimacy. I think when you both look back on this relationship, the hiccups between you might indeed seem very troubling, but your relationship also had many very sweet moments in the past. Because the Devil card represents the kind of desire that some people can fully indulge in with their partner. When you express yourself in front of others, it might be very plain and restrained. However, when facing each other, some inner needs are exceptionally well satisfied. So, even though you two haven't reached a balance in some aspects of the past, what you gave each other reached a peak value. Therefore, it can be said that some things that the other person gives are so special that when facing others, there's no way to easily replace them with someone else. It's like you always say it's from time to time. Thinking back to this person, he isn't someone who develops in a balanced way. He has a side that's more specialized. This way everyone might understand better, but this specialized direction is indeed very attractive. To be honest, I think your relationship is like this. As for the man, he indeed has a flaw, which is that he might outwardly express grand principles, but actually has selfish motives inside. For the woman, her flaw might be that she cares too much about the relationship, making her emotions fluctuate constantly based on the ups and downs of the relationship. So, the two of them might be in this kind of situation. It's not enough to balance, or rather, it hasn't reached a state of being very open-hearted, so there's no way to express one's selfish thoughts. But it is indeed difficult to say. Let's take a look at your state, your current thoughts. It's a reverse judgment card, indicating that you haven't forgotten the other person or let go of them yet. But has the other person let go? The other person has a reversed 9 of Pentacles, which shows that he is quite uneasy. It doesn't make me feel that he is determined to let go, but it also doesn't show a firm intention to continue maintaining the relationship. Because of the reversed 9 of Pentacles, I think this person might have a subconscious thought that you can't let go of him, and he keeps this in his heart. For example, you might feel a temporary anxiety about this relationship in your heart. After a while, your emotions might rebound, and you will come back, not engaging in a long-term struggle with him. He will think that you will return. So, there might be some realistic factors in your relationship that make him feel not very anxious, a bit confident, and fearless. Let's take a look. If you don't take the initiative to contact him next, what will he do? How will he think about it? The reversed Knight of Cups indeed suggests a sense of complacency, because when the Knight of Cups is reversed, his initiative might be mediocre. To be honest, it might even be that you two have already lost contact in the past. So, when facing the relationship, he may not be very proactive in making changes. He is likely to think that he is used to the feeling of pausing in the relationship from time to time. So if you don't take the initiative to contact him, he might not feel very anxious at first. But what happens next? If you continue not to contact him, he might start to feel a bit panicked because of the reversed 3 of Swords. He will begin to face the problem and realize that this situation is not working. He will start to feel that this state is indeed not acceptable, and he will begin to panic. Face the problem directly, but his attitude towards solving the problem might not make you particularly happy, because the reversed 3 of Swords indicates a somewhat harsh and direct state. However, the good news is that the Hanged Man card shows that you two will still have some level of communication and interaction, followed by the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups card has appeared again, indicating that there is a bit of a torturous element in your relationship. First of all, if you don't take the initiative next, he won't quickly come to the realization that he is about to lose you. He might think, "I'll wait and see." Or it could be that you have experienced this kind of disconnection before. So he is not particularly anxious. But in the following moments, he starts to feel that something is wrong because he realizes that he might really lose you completely. This reversed Three of Swords proves that he begins to use his words to confirm this matter and to solve this problem. In his heart, he feels that he cannot let this relationship end just like that. He still wants to give it a try. So next comes the Hanged Man card. There will be some communication between you two, and it is possible that some friends might take advantage of this opportunity. This relationship needs to reach a very intimate state. After all, when the Lovers card appears, the harmony of the relationship reaches a peak value. However, the issue between you two may not be about love, but about how to get along. So you can see that after experiencing the very intimate and sweet state indicated by the Lovers card, the Ace of Cups appears, which suggests that it's habitual. When facing this relationship, not putting in effort feels a bit like it's easy to fall in love, but hard to stay together. If you can't maintain this relationship, and then the Ace of Cups appears, it feels like there might still be a third party. The third party factor in your relationship is very significant. It feels to me like if there's no contact, the emotions won't disappear, but the relationship won't be stable. That's the feeling I get. It's not saying that it will just end. The two people have reached a level of peace, so he will indeed panic. Indeed, it will be because of the disconnection in your relationship that he feels something is wrong and starts to get anxious. However, I think that for a long-term relationship, just you not taking the initiative won't be enough to make all the adjustments and changes. This relationship requires both people to work hard and try together. You can see that he still can't let go and is willing to try. You see, there are quite a few mistakes here. As for his words, he will say that he appreciates your kindness, seeing the precious aspects of this relationship, and he will make long-term adjustments and changes. However, your relationship path is not very smooth, and you need to manage it carefully. Well, that's all the information for our first group of friends. Thank you very much for watching, and best wishes to you all. After liking and commenting, let's move on to the second group, for those who chose the middle indicator card. Now, let's first draw a card to see what your past state was like. In the past, we first have a reversed Six of Swords. Managing this relationship was quite challenging because the reversed Six of Swords indicates that the past was probably shaky, meaning this relationship was not in a very stable and secure state. Moreover, it is possible that the relationship between you and him has experienced quite a few challenges and obstacles, making both of you less confident when facing this relationship. The reversed Six of Swords suggests that from the time you got to know each other, interacted, and came together, there might have been a sense of doubt or uncertainty in your hearts. This feeling could belong to both of you, or just one of you. There will definitely be one person who is not very confident about this relationship, thinking that there may be many obstacles in the future. Perhaps there was an issue in the past that has always been a stumbling block for both of you. Often, when you both eagerly approach each other, you don't receive good feedback during the process, leading to hesitation. In the past, it might have been a situation represented by the Two of Swords. This relationship might have really faced such challenges in the past. There have been injuries. I feel that your past relationship was a bit restless, meaning you were aware of the issues in the relationship, but didn't really want to solve them. Maybe it was just one person, but in any case, this kind of energy led to some stagnation in the relationship. There is a lot of air element, and with the reversed Four of Pentacles, if you say there was no effort made, that's impossible, because the reversed Four of Pentacles indicates that actually stepping out of your comfort zone and being willing to try and change for this relationship. Next is a mention of the Magician. Actually, in this relationship, I feel that the attraction between the two of you is still very strong. However, this relationship makes me feel that it is quite focused on air and earth elements, which gives a sense of being fast and slow at the same time. At times, he might push things forward very quickly, but like the air element, he is somewhat elusive. When things are good, they can be very good. When things are bad, it might suddenly come to a complete halt, like everything just freezes. So I feel that in this relationship, both of you have had moments where you were very confident about the relationship and wanted to work hard to maintain it. However, this feeling isn't always there. Your relationship might be more harmonious when discussing romantic or purely emotional needs. But if when it comes to truly stable development and deep communication, interacting and discussing things, you hit a snag. It makes me feel that the problem in this relationship is that it can't touch on core issues. You might feel that this person is good to you and shows some positive energy. However, when you start wanting to push the relationship forward in a more serious and responsible way, you feel like, sigh, this emotion. It can get stuck there. Like he says, there's always a transparent glass between the two of them. Clearly, they can see each other genuinely, but when it comes to entering this deeper level of heart-to-heart connection or advancing the relationship to a deeper level, it just happens. Sometimes things just inexplicably stagnate in certain areas, even though everything that needed to be done has been done and everything that needed to be discussed has been discussed. It seems like you still get stuck in certain states. Moreover, in this relationship, it's not that one of you is always avoiding or the other is always avoiding. I can see that in the past, like the King of Pentacles, you discussed some long-term issues and developments, which made you feel very confident about the relationship, like the Magician, thinking that there was a chance. Development, but after such a stage, the sense of security in your relationship might come to a halt. Because, as you can see, the past was the wind element, which is more fleeting and unstable. Next comes the earth element, indicating that after being stuck for a while, someone is willing to step out of their comfort zone and try to change the relationship, making it better, almost like a magician. Then everything seems sufficient, making one feel like it's possible to move forward again, but the result is that things seem to slow down. Again. On this level, I feel that your relationship has been hurt before. At least one person has been hurt in a previous relationship. So, when entering this relationship, there is a bit of a state of not being very open-hearted. This makes me feel that your relationship, when discussing certain topics, someone might evade the main point, which means one person wants to develop things seriously. The other person, however, wants to stay in the current situation, the current state. But you both have some common topics that you can talk about happily, like the Magician, right? The Magician corresponds to clear communication and interaction energy, making people feel connected. Some of your thoughts have been completely confirmed in him, and they can be fully displayed. You could say it brings a lot of happiness and joy. However, the relationship between the two of you has not progressed to a deeper level, which might make both of you hesitant, especially for some friends who are usually very relaxed and carefree in love. But when facing this relationship, they might feel differently. After a long time, you start to self-doubt, wondering if it's because you have a bad temper, or if you didn't meet the other person's emotional needs. Should you have responded at that moment? Did you not react in time? Was what you said inappropriate? In short, this leads to a level of self-denial. However, after a long period of self-denial, it becomes very oppressive because you are not sure how to proceed. When you try to push forward steadily, it's easy to become impatient and turn the blade towards the other person. Let's take a look at your current state. And your state? It's the Eight of Wands. Actually, in your heart, you want freedom, but you also want to make some adjustments and changes to this relationship, because the Eight of Wands still carries some fire element energy that wants change. I think you also enjoy the feeling of freedom in the present moment, although you still have a sense of eagerness when facing him after all. The relationship between two people doesn't develop overnight, so now you might feel that not having to deal with this relationship brings some relief to your life. However, the Eight of Wands represents very fast energy, and sometimes emotions can rebound. Overall, this freedom level is relatively higher. The current state is represented by the reversed Sun card, and when the Sun is reversed, such people tend to be impatient. I think he is currently in this kind of state. It seems that the initiative is somewhat weaker compared to before. This situation isn't very conducive to actively pursuing things as before. Previously, doing anything was quite joyful and pleasant. But now, you might feel that this person seems a bit distracted by other things. He might say, "Oh, I've been quite busy lately," or "I have other things to take care of." It feels like something he has to do, but it doesn't necessarily involve the relationship between the two of you. Stop there. Then let's see what happens next. If you don't take the initiative to contact him, what will he say and do? Let's take a look. Let's switch to another deck of cards. If you don't take the initiative to contact him, what will he think? What will he do? And what changes will occur in your relationship? If you don't take the initiative to contact him, the first card is Temperance, which doesn't belong to this kind of emotional situation. A card that quickly changes and adjusts, but if you don't move, temper it, it actually means to have a chat and communicate. It's the kind of thing that shows its presence in front of you, letting you see some of its dynamics, showing you that this person is looking for an opportunity to talk to you. However, it's not the type to rush directly in front of you and say, "Hey, what's up?" It's more of a restrained mindset where it moves around in front of you, trying to connect with your energy in a tentative way. He might just go to your profile and like a post or leave a comment. Or if you usually meet in person, he might try to make his presence felt in front of you. And then the Chariot card appears, indicating he might start causing some trouble. However, his way of causing trouble doesn't involve openly expressing his emotions. Whether it's temperance or conflict, he tends to be more reserved emotionally. He won't easily say things like, "I love you," "I like you," or "let's make up." Above, it might be easier to say that he moves around a lot, but you might wonder, what is this person doing? It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Why doesn't he just say it directly if he wants to find me? There are these inexplicable thoughts. The reversed Death card. All major arcana cards have strong energy, so it proves that your lack of initiative has a significant impact on him. However, major arcana also correspond to slower cycles. Sigh, it felt pretty good when the Ace of Cups appeared. Well, I think this person might really be a bit awkward. On this level of awkwardness, if you don't take the initiative, he won't immediately rush to you to salvage the relationship. Instead, he will keep moving around in front of you, observing how you think and what you do. Then, when you don't give him feedback, he will get a bit frantic, thinking, "I've already made a move. I've tried my best. Why are you still like this? Why aren't you giving me feedback? Why aren't you like before?" He tends to have this mindset, which is indicated by the Hanged Man card. It's like showing a very tough attitude. I will still move, but I won't back down, and I can't lower my momentum. If you don't contact me, fine. I won't contact you either. But in the end, it's hard to resist. Next comes the reversed Death card, which means he will still want to contact you, still want to find you, because when the Death card is reversed, his obsession will definitely be there. He will contact you, ask to meet you, and so on. This is actually after all the initial grumbling. Actually, both people's emotions have reached a rather longing state in this relationship. And then it moves into the Ten of Cups, which feels like the relationship has reached a peak of harmony. So, if you don't take the initiative, he will become anxious, but he is not the type of person who easily gives in. He will hold it in, and after holding it in, he might make a big move. In the early stages, he might also have a bad attitude. But if you ask me, then I'll just hold back and not take the initiative. I have to give you a word of caution. Why? Our major cards, as everyone knows, indeed indicate that your lack of initiative has a significant impact on it, and it will indeed cause a lot of anxiety. However, major cards also represent cycles, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it will quickly lead to them actively asking you out or seeking you out. It's very likely that you will need a period of Cold War. For a very long time, it might take a while to move forward. I think at least if you don't take the initiative to contact him, it might take at least a month or two before he can move forward. You see, in the early stages, it's all about pretending that nothing is wrong, so it might not be particularly fast, but the Ten of Cups will make him want to reach out to you. The Ten of Cups actually has some tricks and certain factors, because the Ten of Cups involves many people, so he is very likely to use some comparisons. It's a collective or a large group environment where emotional ice-breaking takes place. However, when your development reaches the Ten of Cups, it gives me the feeling that the harmony in this relationship is ultimately quite good. It just depends on how you communicate at that time. The Ten of Cups makes me feel that things are pretty good, but if you have family relationships, if each of you has a family, then when the Ten of Cups involves family factors, it might make everyone a bit more restrained. But what can be guaranteed is that you will definitely be able to break the ice. Sometimes there's nothing better than harmony, and this is the message for our second group of friends. Thank you all for watching, and best wishes to you. After liking and commenting, let's look at the third group. For those who chose the indicator card on the far right, let's draw a card first and see what kind of message your past holds. What kind of problem is the wand? My past issues might be that the two people would bicker like children, possibly not very peaceful. Especially, your environment might also be in a state of constant change. In the past of your relationship, both internally and externally, there was a lack of harmony. It's a bit like a table that can't stay calm. Originally, everyone gathered here to have a meal, but it ended up being noisy and chaotic. Whether it's the internal aspects of your relationship or the external factors, there will be quite a bit of obstructive energy preventing you two from getting along peacefully. However, the Five of Wands indicates that despite the lack of harmony and the constant conflicts, both of you have a strong passion for the relationship. There may be unpleasant moments, but even after these, you can still feel the emotional connection in each other's hearts. It's very positive, just a feeling that you can't let go of. Next, in the past, there was a hermit. Your relationship in the past might have had periods of positivity, followed by periods of calm. Both of you are prone to saying things that don't match your true feelings, like having a soft heart but a tough exterior. This situation is likely to occur because the hermit is actually very attentive. And honestly, in terms of film and television, I think in the past there was a service-oriented energy in your relationship. One person was very attentive to the other, making it feel very comfortable to be together. They wanted to care for the other person, and when they did, they felt happy, seeing the other person happy. So in the past, your relationship might not have been very stable, but the intensity of the emotions is quite good. The World card in the past indeed indicates this kind of on and off energy because the World card represents that the relationship may have ended and then come back together. Also, there might be something important that happened during a trip or travel. I feel that words like travel, tourism, and journey are very important keywords in your relationship. Next, there will be the reversed Eight of Swords. The obstacles in your relationship's environment are really significant. To put it plainly, there is the image of a pig teammate in this relationship, meaning that someone might always be around giving bad advice or saying things that don't help the relationship progress. One person's heart is constantly being disturbed by the surrounding energy. In your past, there was a feeling of unease and anxiety, and both of you felt this way about the relationship. This kind of vitality is a positive mindset, but at the same time, you may feel that the relationship hasn't reached a very harmonious and fulfilling state. In the past, it was a bit tumultuous, and the people around you really had a significant negative impact on your relationship. They didn't actively support it. To be honest, your friends might have provided some environment for you, but at some crucial moments, the environment you were in wasn't very supportive. Some negative voices have had an absolute impact. This kind of talk is an energy blocker, causing the emotional connection between you two to potentially stop or get stuck at that level. One person might really be the type who loves to play around and enjoys being in relaxed environments, having a very open world where they can accept a lot of energy and accommodate many things. The other person might feel like it feels like the whole world only consists of the other person, and that person alone is your entire world. In your relationship, I think there's a heavy sense of confusion, because there's a moon here. This relationship might have a possibility, which is that you might be in a kind of secret relationship, not openly talking about it or expressing it. Some of you might have this kind of emotional situation. This mutual secret crush feels like, even though there are turbulent emotions inside, on the surface it might seem more stagnant. In your relationship, you often feel like he understands and knows, but maybe he doesn't understand or know. Because in the world of two people, the things they carry might not be equally balanced, and the other person might not realize this. He might be used to these kinds of details. There has always been this element of unrest in your relationship, this constant state of instability. In the past, your relationship might have had very sweet times. The two of you were indeed very happy, but I also think that there were quite a few draining times in your past, because cards like the Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords suggest this. It's quite unclear, quite difficult, and sometimes there might be a sense of competition, which feels a bit like a Cold War. It's like being able to endure, to tolerate, and to completely not express, or show anything inside. Let's see how your current state of mind is. You might be represented by the Ace of Pentacles, possibly wanting a new beginning, a new development. This is the Ace of Pentacles, and it might also be some friends are changing to new jobs and new environments, so for you, the new people and things in these new worlds bring you a significant amount of renewed energy, represented here by the Strength card. It seems like both of you are quite patient and not in a state of being very impatient or anxious. However, I feel that when the other person is in the Strength card, they have an influence on you. During the time spent together, you will feel a sense of harmony in the relationship with him. To be honest, it's quite strong because I think that for him, even though there might be some quarrels, the psychological balance has been achieved. He feels that you have had very sweet times together in the past. When he considers your relationship, he feels this way. Actually, many times your thoughts are correct, your ideas are right. And then, I think he might be more dependent on your sense of direction and goals in this relationship, because sometimes he feels like he is prone to messing things up or ruining the relationship. Let's take a look at what he would do and think if you don't take the initiative to contact him next. How to express it? Let's look at the first card, which is a Wands card, as proof. This means that if you don't take the initiative to contact him, he will immediately sense the change in the energy field. He will instantly feel that something is off. This is a message from the Wands card, but the Ten of Wands has a bit of a feeling of holding on stubbornly. I want to find you. I want to contact you. I feel very anxious inside. But the Ten of Wands is like this. I'm already very uncomfortable, but I'll just let myself be uncomfortable. It implies a kind of stubborn endurance. Next, we have a Pentacles card, the Four of Pentacles. It also indicates someone who can sit still. I think it's a reversed Seven of Pentacles. Oh dear, this person, he is like you, probably able to stay calm when facing this relationship. All right, the Fool card. Most of the time he can stay calm because, you see, our first card is the Wands. I'm telling you, actually, when you don't take the initiative to contact him, he will clearly feel that the atmosphere between the two of you has changed, but he still holds on and feels like he doesn't want to make a move. There is a lot of elemental energy, and for him, he might have to consider some real-life matters. But regardless, if you don't take the initiative, his actions won't be very proactive. The Four of Pentacles actually represents sitting there, without much movement or change. The reversed Seven of Pentacles also indicates a feeling of hesitation and being stuck internally. However, with the Hanged Man card, he will still take action and make contact. But I think his actions and contact will be somewhat slow, because overall, the earth element is still quite strong. Although the Rain card is an air sign card, it doesn't act with a specific goal in mind. So you see his actions, but maybe his actions will annoy you. For instance, you want him to discuss matter A with you, but he might end up talking about something else. I feel that he takes care of her, and this behavior might make you very angry, because he might not be communicating these things properly with you. I think there is a lack of the water element here. The water element is about connection. He is taking action, but he is doing it step by step, methodically. He won't make empty promises to keep you from leaving. Instead, I think this person is very rational by nature. Alternatively, he might not want to make too many changes or adjustments in this relationship, so he should take it slowly. He has a lot of considerations, and the reversed Seven of Pentacles might indicate that he and you are dealing with issues like principles or future commitments, so he is quite cautious. Although this person loves me, I feel that he will realize the change in energy when you don't contact him and will tentatively try to change. However, his overall initiative won't be particularly fast. He will say that he is considering some practical issues and then think about how to handle them well. That concludes all the content for our third group of friends. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all good luck. Remember to claim your good fortune. See you in the next public video. Bye-bye.